Welcome to Becoming is Messy, where we dive deep into the journey of survival, transformation, and everything in between. I'm your host, Megan Dawson, here to share the honest, unfiltered stories behind my own process of becoming. Life isn't a pretty and perfect straight line, and neither is becoming the person we're meant to be. Here, we embrace the ups, the downs, all the beautiful, chaotic, messy moments that shape who we are. Whether you're in the thick of change or reflecting on past transformations, this space is for real conversations about what it means to grow, stumble, and rise again. So get comfy, settle in, and let's get messy. Today, we're talking about breaking free from survival mode, ditching perfectionism, and finally learning how to put yourself first without guilt, all through the practice of journaling. And I couldn't think of a better person to dive into this with than today's guest. Many know her as Journal Bae, the incredible Shawnti Refuge. Now let me tell you a little bit about this powerhouse. Shawnti is a master certified mental health coach, best-selling author, keynote speaker, and the CEO of Shawnti Refuge Journals, where she helps people heal, release emotional baggage, and reclaim their joy through guided journaling. And she knows what she's talking about. Her own journey through depression, anxiety, and burnout led to what most would call a mental breakdown. But Shawnti flipped the script and turned it into a mental breakthrough. Through journaling, she uncovered the root of her struggles, healed holistically, and built a life that's centered on freedom, self-care, and radical self-love. She's the creator of Free Yourself and Falling for My Damn Self, two programs designed to help you break free from emotional burdens, let go of the BS, and step into the healed and thriving version of you. I am pumped up. Let's do this. Shawnti, I'm so excited to have you join the Becoming is Messy podcast. As soon as I started learning about you, I knew that I had to get you on the show. Welcome to Becoming is Messy.
Thank you for having me. It is such a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited.
Yay, I'm so excited too. I have to admit, I have never had a really formal journaling practice. I feel like today's discussion is my launching off point to really commit to this. I've heard so many stories of how powerful it can be. So excited for me personally and for our messy community to learn from you. So thank you for being here. My first question for you, you've been journaling for years.
Yes.
I'm so curious of something that you've written in a journal that later manifested in your life in an unexpected or really powerful way.
My house.
Your house. That's about as big as you can get in your life.
Yeah. Growing up, I always said that I wanted a 5-bedroom, three and a half bedroom house in a cul-de-sac. I was very specific about what I wanted.
Yes.
I wanted a brick house in a small neighborhood where the kids could play. Back then I didn't even have kids, but I was like, that's what I want. I think I wanted it so much because my aunt and uncle had their home built and they had a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom house. And it's okay, I want this. If they can have it, I can have it too. So I used to always say it. But when I started journaling, I would write it down. I would say, okay, I want this. I want it this way. I want it in a cul-de-sac and I got it. I was so surprised. I don't know why though, because I knew that's
Right.
what I wanted and I knew I was going to get it, but I just didn't realize how quickly I would get it. When I wrote it down, it was like it's one thing to say it. When you
Yes.
actually write it down,
Yes. Oh, that's incredible. We could talk this whole episode about manifestation stories. I just
Mhm.
always feel like hearing other people's stories of my own, they're my favorite stories to share. It's just so fun. If you believe in the magic of the universe is magic. I feel like it's important to hear those stories of how manifestation has come to be realized.
Mine so far haven't been as big as a house. As you were talking, I was like, man, I need to up my asks. I was just telling a story this week of how when I was little, we grew up pretty poor. I remember being at a friend's house and her mom cooking with a Le Creuset pot. And it was like, in my mind, that pot symbolized like you made it. Like I just always look at that pot and think, gosh, when I have one of those pots, I have made it in life. I have that pot now, I need that
Yes,
vision of that house.
yes, dream big.
Dream big.
Nothing is
That's
off
awesome.
limits.
So take us back before your house came to be. Every becoming story has its own messy path.
Yeah.
Give us a little insight into some of the twists and turns that have led you to where you are today.
I did not intend on being in business. I did not intend on any of this, but it happened. I had a nervous breakdown in 2018. And when I had it, I didn't know what that was. I just knew I was acting crazy. Like I was going off on people. I was cussing, fussing, yelling, screaming, mad, crying, sad, withdrawn. And I'm like, okay, am I about to stop my cycle? Because this is weird. I don't know. I'd never acted like that. It went on for about a month. Every day it got worse and worse until I was like, okay, something ain't right. Let me go to the doctor. So I went to my primary care doctor because I didn't know what was wrong with me. Am I going through menopause? But I can't be. I'm too young. But you never know. So I went and told her what was going on. She was like, "It sounds like you're depressed. Let me give you some antidepressants." I'm like, I don't want that. But I take it if it'll ease these symptoms. So I took them. She told me to come back in 6 weeks, and they did not work. I'm like, this ain't working. You got to do something because I'm losing it. I could not control my emotions. Whatever emotion came out, that's what you got, and I couldn't turn the switch on or off. And she said, "I'm not saying anything's wrong with you, but I need you to go see a psychiatrist." Wait a minute. When you hear the word psychiatrist, you think crazy. I
Okay.
did anyway. And I'm
Right.
like, nah, I ain't trying to go see no psychiatrist. I'm not crazy. It's just something going on and I need to figure out what it is. But and then again, growing up in my community, I've never heard of anybody going to see a psychiatrist. I only saw that on TV. So I'm like, that ain't real. But yes, it is real. I went ahead and saw a psychiatrist and I told her what was going on and she wanted to give me more antidepressants. I'm like, do not want these antidepressants because I knew that number one, antidepressants do not fix you. They just shut you up. And so it's like I always compare it to sticking a pacifier in a baby's mouth. Baby's crying, you give her the pacifier, she be quiet. When you yank it out, she start yelling again. I didn't want that. I wanted to figure out why I was acting like this, how I could prevent it from happening again, and how could I get to a point where I could control it. So she recommended that I go see a therapist. And I'm like people don't go see therapists because I've never heard of anybody to go and see a therapist. But the thing is, yes, we go see therapists. We just didn't talk about it.
Ah, yes. Right.
Yeah, so because we grew up in a culture of don't tell anybody your business. What goes on in the
Yep.
house stays in the house. Don't be talking to strangers. And that's the mindset that I had. That's what I grew up with.
Yep.
I went to a therapist. It took me 3 therapists. The first one, I had to fire her. The second one ghosted me. The third one, oh my God, I gave her so much attitude. I said, "Look, you are my last hope. If you can't help me, then I guess I'm going to jail." Because by then I was verbally aggressive, but I could feel myself getting physically aggressive. I can't just go around punching people in the throat without any consequences. So I went ahead and she looked at me. She said, "I am going to help you. I can help you." And I was like, "Okay, we gonna see." Because I was like, "Who are you?" But she helped me. She actually did. I sing her praises all the time because if it wasn't for her, I probably would be in jail somewhere behind physically assaulting somebody. She taught me about talk therapy. So we started that first and it felt good to talk, but it wasn't helping as much as I wanted it to. So she introduced me to guided journaling. And I'm like, what is that? 'Cause all I heard was journaling. And I'm thinking, okay, black people don't journal either. I didn't know anybody who journaled. And she was like, no, everybody journals. It's just the way you do it. I said, is it like a diary? Because I used to think journaling and a diary were the same thing. They are absolutely not the same thing. And I learned that in therapy. She taught me that guided journaling is basically, she's giving me prompts based on my issues. And all I'm doing is writing the answer down. And that's all. It's as easy as that sounds and as simple as it is. It's like, okay, I didn't think of that on my own. Why did I have to come to therapy to figure this out? But hey, she sent me home with some prompts. I used to see her once a week in the beginning. She gave me prompts, told me to do them, come back, and let's talk about your answers. And it started working. Like
Wow.
weeks, within 2 weeks of me
In
just writing
two
down, and
weeks. Wow, that is incredible.
I learned a whole lot about myself that I didn't even know. It was wild because I
It's
thought it was voodoo
wild,
or something.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, okay, this is witchcraft. This ain't real. How were you able to pull this out of me by me just answering these questions? She explained that when you talk about things, that's one thing, but when you actually put the pen to paper, things just come out that you didn't even know were there. And that's exactly what happens.
I have so many thoughts of where we could take all of that to unpack. First of all, I feel like the way you describe Black people not, journaling, not going to a psychologist, but really not sharing it. I'll tell you, that is the same for us white Gen Xers. So as I started coming up with this podcast, Becoming is Messy was born out of a recognition, my 10 years of healing in how powerful it is to just talk about our stuff. The things I used to hold as my deepest secrets that weighed me down with shame. Here I am now just saying it on a podcast because I have learned the power of truth, and putting it out there frees you of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm just so excited. I believe that we all symbolically represent the different cohorts we belong to. I feel like for me as a mom, as a woman, as a white woman, all of that, I want to be an example to put that out there, that
Yeah.
these things don't have to be taboo. We can talk about it. I love seeing the ways that you do that for all of the different communities that you're a part of. You get to you get to change that because everybody's messy. We're all messy. We just
Yeah.
don't all talk about it.
Exactly. We put on this facade like everything is okay.
Yeah.
When we're out in public, and as soon as we get home, we screaming and crying and sliding down the wall.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Our Facebook pictures are pretty, but the truth is not.
Exactly. Baby, I show everything, laughing, crying,
Yes.
whatever. I post it because
Yeah.
a lot of people do go to social media and they see other people's lives and they compare their lives to somebody else's. But I'm like, you don't know everything that's going on
That's right.
behind this picture. So
Yes.
let me show you what's going on over here. You're going
Yeah.
to see me happy. You're going to see me mad. I'm going to talk about it energetically.
You described that moment. You were going through a mental breakdown for those first few weeks when you were seeking answers, but eventually you shifted that to a mental breakthrough. When you think of your mental breakthrough, what did that journaling process and that time with your therapist, what did that look like for you?
Initially, it looked like my therapist broke up with me. Because she said, okay, Shanti, you're doing well. You're using your tools. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to have to stop seeing you. Wait a minute, you breaking up? It felt like a real relationship breakup. And she was like, no, I'm not breaking up with you. What I'm telling you is that you have the tools that you need to continue on in your process. I don't want you to use me as a crutch.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right. I said, can I see you every now and again? She said, yes, we will check in quarterly. And then we're going to check in every 6 months, once a year until you don't need me at all anymore. And I was like, I didn't like it. I did not like it at first. I just said, okay, all right, whatever. And, I went home and what I did, oh, let me back up. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression. So that's why I was acting the way I was acting. And that explained a lot. Depression is basically us living in the past and wishing we can change things that happened in the past or do something or say something a different way. Anxiety is basically you trying to control something you can't control.
Yep.
So that was me. And
Yes, I always
I
think that's powerful. I wanted to pause there just because to me, that was a really important recognition. The whole anxiety is you trying to control the future, depression, feeling sad about the past,
yeah,
and being in the present is usually a sense of calm. If you're living in the present,
exactly.
you are a sense of calm. For our listeners, that's a powerful way to like check in with yourself and
Mhm.
recognize where are you at with your thoughts with those three things. That is such important information to then point you to how you can then instead reframe your thinking in a way that gets you back to that calm.
Yes, but you're not gonna get it the first time. Once she broke up with me, I went home and I bought notebooks for every issue that I had. I did learn that you can't write about different issues in the same journal. So I had one for self-love. I had one for self-esteem. I had one for gratitude. I had one for prayer. I had one for a relationship breakup. I had one for unpacking emotional back. Girl, I had a line of them, and they were just for me. And so I would write my own. I learned how to get my own prompts. So I got them, had prompts for each journal, and started answering the questions. I started feeling better when I actually opened my mouth and said, "Okay, I'm feeling good." And as soon as I said that, I heard this voice saying, "Okay, you're feeling good. What about somebody else?" Wait, what? Who is that talking? I'm gonna say that was God talking to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, you're feeling better, but there's somebody else who needs what you have. I need you to go produce your journals so people can use them." I wanted to be obedient, even though I was terrified out of my
Yes, yes,
mind.
yes. Isn't that how it
Because
works? Why is it, when I get that nudge, it always feels like, wait, what are you asking me to do?
because we're scared.
So here you
Like,
are, you're getting nudged. So you take this practice and share it with others. That's your
absolutely do.
calling.
That's how I found my purpose.
Wow.
I never knew what my purpose was. I was just here existing. But now I'm living and I'm in my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. So I produced these guided journals and I got on social media saying, "Hey, I'm Shawnti. This is my story. These are my guided journals and how they help me." Then I started going to events in person, like vending. People would come to the table and I would tell them my story. Then I was at one vending event where one of the speakers didn't show up. And so the hostess said, "Okay, are you ready to speak?" I'm like, "Speak to who?" And she said, "I need you to get on stage and tell your story. You need to quit hiding behind these journals." And she was right. I was hiding behind my
Yeah.
journals. And I was like, "Okay." I went and had a full blown panic attack. I called my best friend. I said, "Oh, Lord, girl, they trying to make me speak. I'm not ready to speak." She said, "B, if you don't get off my phone and go speak, you could do this." And she hung up in my face. So I went and got on the stage, and that was the best thing she could have done for me. I went and got on the stage and told my story. And from there, people started asking, "Do you speak at other events?" But yes, go ahead, come.
Wow.
Let me know. And then I started doing workshops, teaching people how to journal because I did not know. A lot of people don't know how to journal.
Yeah.
So
I'm learning from you today. It's a topic I'm not as familiar with.
I host journaling workshops. From there, people started asking me, "Well, do you coach?" And I'm like, "No, I don't coach. I'm not qualified to coach nobody. I'm still in my healing journey." My mentor, the same person who told me to get up on stage, became my mentor. And it took her to tell me that it's not going to be perfect starting out, but you have to do it because people need what you have. Because of the way you speak, the way you relate to people, they're going to listen to you. I started coaching and then I got my certification. I got my master certification in coaching. And then I started my coaching program. The name of it is Staying Stuck Ain't Cute. And it's to help people get unstuck from whatever they're stuck in. I do peer support groups, one on one coaching, group coaching, you name it, I do it. And yes, we're going to journal through all of that.
Yeah, well, I read that one of the topics that you help women with is overcoming perfectionism, which I feel like, oh gosh, if there's a common thread among almost all women. I feel like that's one of them. I'm curious in the work that you've done, what's one major lie that perfectionism tells us? Why is it so embedded in us? And what is it that we're really striving for when it comes to our beliefs in perfectionism?
Perfectionism tells us that if you can't do it perfectly, you shouldn't do it at all. That is a lie. Perfectionism convinces us that progress doesn't count unless it's flawless. If you think it should be flawless, you're going to be stuck. That's where being stuck comes in, or procrastinating, or never feeling like you're good enough. It makes us believe that our mistakes equal failure, when in actuality, mistakes are how we grow. Nobody is perfect. We are not perfect.
Yeah.
And that's God. We're not perfect. We're human. We're going to make mistakes. But
Right.
the difference is, are you going to learn from your mistake, or are you going to stay stuck from that mistake and not move on because you're scared to make another one? You know how many mistakes you're going to make before you leave this earth? Come on now.
Yeah. right? I also say if you made none, you didn't live loud enough because it's the
Exactly.
mistakes where really the magic eventually comes from.
We all make mistakes, and
Yeah.
done is better than perfect.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Growth happens in the doing, not in the waiting
Yeah.
for the perfect moment.
Yes, that whole you fail every shot you never take, right? Like,
Exactly, and that's true. That is
yeah,
absolutely true.
very true. I really want to dig into the journal a little bit more. I joke a little bit saying how much I'm not familiar with journaling. And I think for me, what's held me back is really not having the right framework or structure. It feels ambiguous because I coin myself a writer. On my day to day, I do write. But when I think of journaling, I get stuck because I feel like it's just this blank paper and I don't even know where to start. What are some of the prompts that you like to start with women that are just getting started?
I like to do self-awareness, self-discovery first. Because who are you? Who are you outside of being a mom? Who are you outside of being an employee, a wife, a sister, a daughter? Who the hell are you? We start with questions like how are you feeling right now? What's on your mind? What do you need more of in your life? What do you need less of? What's one thing you love about yourself? What's something you've been avoiding that you need to face? These are not just regular questions. These are prompts that make you dig deep,
Mhm.
that you have to think about.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the prompts that I give, no one's ever asked them that before.
I feel like so true.
Mhm.
Some of them are ones that you might want to hesitate a little bit to go there, right?
These prompts are for you to go in
Yep.
your journal. Nobody else is going to see them. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's criticizing you. And you have to get raw with yourself. You have to literally get naked. And then when you're in my coaching program, that's one of my homework assignments. Get naked. Literally.
Yes. That's going to be at the top of all my journal pages. Get
Yeah.
naked. Stop hiding behind stuff, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yes,
Especially
yes.
with other people's opinions and what you're looking at on social media and how someone thinks you should look and act. Forget all of that. This is about
Yes.
you and your healing and your journey. You're the only one who can live your life and not live it for somebody else.
What do you think it is about writing that makes it such a powerful tool?
Write it down, make it plain. And when you're writing it down, make it as specific as possible and watch how it comes to life. It will manifest. You could be manifesting and not even know it because you're being specific in your writing. You're writing it down, and it teaches you how to change your mindset. A lot of us adopted our mindset from our moms, our grandmoms, other family members, and society, unfortunately. But this teaches you how to be you, be authentic, be true to yourself, and forget everybody else.
We're talking about just getting started from somebody like my perspective. For you personally, we've talked about how you've translated it in your business and are helping other women.
Mhm.
How about you now? It helped you in the beginning, but what's your journaling practice look like now that you've been doing it for so long?
The same that it looked like from the beginning.
Yeah.
Some people assume that I don't do the work anymore. I do the work all the time. I cannot
Yeah.
stop. Who am I to say you have to do this or you should do this and I'm not doing it? No,
Right.
I'm doing the work. I still journal. I still have issues. I'm not completely healed. This healing process is a journey. So it's every day, one day at a time. I have my days when I'm feeling like I want to rip somebody's head off, just like anybody
Yes,
else.
that's
I have to
right.
get into my journal and dig deep and say, okay, what's really going on? What's wrong with you? Journaling helps me do that.
My real commitment to healing was about 10 years ago. Before that, I was living on autopilot. I wasn't necessarily driving my own car for my life. I was letting other people drive it and shape my feelings and experiences and just swirled in self sabotage. I found the steps that worked for me. I've talked about that on my podcast before. These steps helped me get to the heart of who I was and do better, confront my trauma, and get to
Yeah.
some self-love practices.
Yeah.
And I hit a point where I thought, that's it. I've arrived. I had about a 2-year period where, man, it was, if there's heaven on earth, it was it. I found the light of my
Yeah.
life. Life was good. I said to some girlfriends, I think the second half of my life is going to be boring because I got it figured out now. Within a couple months, I found out that the dad that raised me was not my biological dad. And that news just set me to square one. It put me right back to the beginning. And
I bet.
it stripped everything. And obviously, I was being a little cocky and overconfident back then. It is an everyday journey
Yeah,
until
it is
the
a
end,
journey.
right? I say now, I'm constantly filling up my toolbox. Journaling will be a part of my toolbox. You talk about holistic. You even mentioned earlier, that the doctor with medicine was trying to put a band-aid on
That's
treating a
exactly what it
symptom.
is.
Treating the symptom, masking that symptom. You talk about holistic, and I'm curious when you think holistic, focusing on you as a whole person. Beyond journaling, is there some other practices that you follow taking care of you from that holistic lens?
Absolutely. First of all, it's journaling. It's always going to be guided
Yes.
journaling.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to do breath work. Breath work really helped me. Meditation, healing. I love sound bowls.
Agree.
I had to go out and buy me some, girl. I love them so much. So I changed one of my bedrooms into a wellness room.
Yes.
Room to do yoga. I have a yoga set up in there. I go outside and go grounding. Never in a million years would you ever catch me outside with no shoes on.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
I learned the benefits of grounding. I go
Yes.
outside and walk in the grass and reconnect with the earth.
That's awesome. I just bought my first pair of grounding sheets. My bed's plugged into the ground now. I've only had them for a month and I have a lot of physical pain. I do feel like I wake up not as achy, but also my dreams have been so vivid. Just like
Wow.
wildly vivid the last month.
Yeah, because it's grounding. Anytime you do any type of grounding, it reduces our anxiety and stress. So it shifts our focus away from racing thoughts. It keeps us in the present, which calms our nervous system and lowers our cortisol, which is our stress hormone. Because come on, us ladies, we full of stress hormones. It increases your self-awareness. You're more in tune to how your body feels, like what you just said, and it helps you to recognize early signs of stress. So, as for anyone who's listening, as much as you can, ground, whether it's going in your backyard, walking through the grass, or going to the beach is my spot.
Oh,
I
the
love the
beach.
beach.
Oh, yes. Just your toes in the
And
sand and then just the
yes,
sound of the water is
yes,
just,
it is so
oh,
calming, so relaxing.
just nature in general is
hmm
something that we don't experience as much as we're meant to as humans anymore.
I'm not going camping or nothing like that.
No,
Well, go out in, nah, I can't go out in the wood.
that's, hey, I'm proud of you with the bare feet. My husband and best friend last week, we went to watch the blood moon. We went outside to absorb the energy of the blood moon.
Yes, how was
You
that?
know, yeah, it was cool, although we didn't stay up long enough. I feel like for the two of them were getting too cold, so I feel like they got all the energy they needed, and we didn't fully make it. Still, just being out in nature and watching the moon and having a meditation on, all of that was so powerful. Although the chant I had for us that night did say to get your toes freed and stand in the grass. The fact that it was called the worm blood moon because of the worms becoming is like the birth of earthworm night as well. And I was kind of,
Got
and
it.
I was like, I'll save the feet in the grass till next
I know,
time.
right? You don't want
Yeah,
no worm
so,
crawling in
so
between your
something about
foot.
the
I
worm
die.
blood moon. I don't need that at midnight right now.
Yeah,
And I love hearing, even though journaling is your expertise and primary modality, I just love hitting the message home. When we talk holistic, that there are all of these different tools,
yes,
right? Each person is going to resonate with a mix of those. And I
yeah,
feel like continuously to listen to your body and find the ones that
yeah,
work great for you.
exactly. No one says go out and do all these at once because
Oh, God,
I
no.
didn't. I started
Yeah.
off with journaling and I said, okay,
Yeah.
let me see if I can incorporate something else. I've been told that I'm never satisfied.
Yeah.
So I like to try all kind of things, and especially when it's holistic, I'm attracted to it immediately. So I go and try it, and if I like it, oh, we go together now.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
we doing.
When you're bringing your groups together for your workshops, what are some common struggles that are common among the group of women that you typically work with?
Low self-esteem, that
Low
is a
self-esteem.
common struggle.
Do you think low self-esteem And perfectionism go a little hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Low
Yep.
self-esteem and fear. So that's basically someone overworking, overgiving, overfunctioning, and they don't realize it at first, but based on their answers, and I say, this is a sign of low self-esteem or them talking to themselves negatively, feeling like they're not enough, imposter syndrome.
Oh, yes, imposter syndrome, which is so crazy because so many of us have it. It's so rare that we feel like, yep, I got this fully.
Imposter syndrome sometimes, but I remember who the hell I am. I just say my affirmations and get it
Yes.
together and keep going. You can't just sit there in those thoughts because our thoughts lie to us.
Yep. You talked a little bit about confidence in general as being something that's been part of your struggle and a
Yes.
commonality. Has journaling helped strengthen your confidence in who you are? How? Yes, that's awesome. That is great.
Because it helped me to pull out those negative things that I used to say about myself. "Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, Shawnti, how could you do this? That was dumb of you." Things like that. We say without even thinking about it. It taught me to be mindful of what I'm thinking and what I'm saying because our words have power. You think it, you're gonna say it. Journaling helped me to stop doing that and, start
Yes, yeah.
walking in my confidence.
That's a powerful way to live life, to be able to walk in your confidence.
Despite what other people think, people will say, "Oh, she's conceited, she's stuck up." I don't care what you say, baby. That's a you issue, not a me issue. I have come a long way, and it helps you to recognize your own voice and drown out that noise of other people. Are you going to ask, "Does this look good on me?" Or "What about this hair color, this lipstick color?" What you think? If I like it, I'm going to wear it, and that's that.
Something for all of us to take forward is the strength in just knowing who you are, living how your gut pushes you to, or the universe and God, and is using that as the only guide that matters.
That is the only guide that matters.
Yep,
Because
that's
people,
powerful.
everybody has an opinion. Either they're gonna like you or they're gonna hate you. That's their business. It's not our business.
So, bringing it back to your business and how you're helping others, you have a few different systems. I saw Free Yourself, Falling for My Damn Self, which feel empowering with the titles alone. Share a little bit about your work with individuals, groups. What do those systems look like for folks working with you?
When someone works with me one-on-one, I send them an assessment.
Yeah.
Based on their assessment, I come back and say, this is what we're gonna work on in the order we're gonna work on it. I do not coddle. I do not wool. I give it to you straight, no chaser. But it's in love, with love, because I want you to grow. I want you to heal. You know, the people around us, they tend to tell us what we want to hear, need to hear, and it's up to you to receive it or reject it.
Loving feedback is one of the most powerful things. I feel like there's nothing more frustrating when you're asking for coaching, you're asking for feedback, and somebody just says, "Oh, you did good. You did fine.
No, no, no.
Got this." No, we all always have growth opportunities. So,
Exactly. And I'm
people
gonna
to
tell you too.
lovingly say that and be open to receiving it is powerful.
Yeah, be open and ready to receive. I'm gonna give it to you real. I'm relatable, and
Yeah.
I give you results. If you do the
Yep.
work, you're gonna get results.
Yeah.
Tells me who didn't do the work.
So that's
Yeah.
so one-on-one is really grounded on that and open and
Mhm.
honest feedback and openness to growth. So then
Mhm.
when you're bringing groups together, what kind of focus is there with the group exercise?
With the groups, I do specific topics with every group. I think the next group I'm doing is next week. That's going to be anger management. So everybody who participates in the anger management, y'all gonna get the same journal prompts, and we're gonna talk about it. This is always a safe space. I create safe spaces. There's no judgment. There's no criticism, and so far I haven't had to kick anybody out
Yes,
because I
that's
can at least
great.
kick you out of my group.
Yeah.
I even share my answers. I want to share my experiences as well
Yeah.
because I used to have anger issues too. I
Yep.
used to get mad all the time. We go down the line answering our prompt. Initially, when I get a new person, they're reluctant to share. But when they hear me and somebody else sharing, then okay, I guess I'll share. Well, come share. And I always check in with everyone. Are you okay? How are you feeling? Are these prompts too much for you? Good. Let's go. I want you to
Yeah.
dig deep to
Yeah.
get to your issue so we can heal from it and move the hell on because we have better things to do.
I took a somatic experiencing
hmm
class recently and did a lot of body work on my nervous system. A common feedback from the group was, this is making me feel worse than when I came in. It's because your body is screaming for you to go there. In its safe environment with groups, you're creating this safe space. What a great
Yeah.
way to go there together
Yeah.
to address that pain because it's going to sit in you
Exactly.
somehow. It's there no matter
Exactly.
what.
And I compare the healing journey to acne. When we were teenagers and we had our acne and we got that acne medicine, our acne got worse
Yeah,
before it
that's
got
right.
better. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Cramps, they get worse before they get
Yes.
anything. You are feeling uncomfortable and like you just want to run away. No, you're going to stay here and you're going to dig, or else you're
Yes,
going to stay stuck.
yes. People in my life and just in general, I feel like a lot of times that's when you run away. That when you're
Mhm.
so close to getting your breakthrough is where you all of a sudden kind of numb. Maybe you turn to drugs or alcohol or whatever
Yes.
your soothing mechanism is instead of sitting with it. Whereas really, if you just sat with it a little longer, is where your breakthrough is possible.
That's what I tell my people. I let them know my coping skills used to be food, sex, drugs, alcohol, or
Mhm.
binge watching something.
Yeah.
I have stopped.
Yes.
If I want to
Perfect.
eat some junk food, that's because I want to, not because I'm trying to
Yes.
run from something. If I want to
Yes.
drink, So you have to sit with it. You have to
Sit with
feel
it.
your feelings and you have to give yourself permission to feel your feelings.
I am. Just a few more questions. I read your passion for connecting with others in the mental health and wellness space. Just curious what ideal collaboration looks like for you.
Ideal collaboration is someone who is also in the mental health or holistic wellness avenue, and we're going live, introducing each other to each other's audiences. It's no gatekeeping. I want to
Yeah.
share, and I want you to
Yes.
share. I want us to join forces because there's strength in numbers. So join forces, and however that looks like, whether it's workshops, in person, online, whatever it is, let's join together so that we can educate and help others who need it.
Collaboration and uniting is just such a big philosophy of having an abundant mindset and not feeling
Exactly.
like there is any competition in this space because the more people we can help, the more we heal the world. And if the whole world was regulated, do you know how much love and support there would be in
This
the
will be
world?
heaven on earth.
Right?
Heaven on, and it doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what your status is.
Yeah.
If we're all healed, we can do some things, good
Exactly.
things.
So that's why I love just bringing voices like yours to our show to be able to elevate that and heal the world together. So next for Shawnti, what are you working on these days?
These days, I am working on money mindset. I have joined forces with two other companies, Noble Credit Consulting and Making Money with Micken. We're doing a financial literacy workshop. We're talking about credit, maintaining your credit, establishing credit, getting ready to buy that house or car, financial planning. Where I come in is I change your money mindset because a lot of us grew up hearing money doesn't grow on trees or you have McDonald's money. Yes, money does grow on trees. So I changed that mindset. I changed the way people view money because, of course, that's generational. We heard our mama saying crazy stuff like that, or our grandmothers or somebody around us having a fear of money or just getting by. We weren't put here to just get by. We were put here to thrive, and that is our goal. I do have a podcast called Quiet is Kept. And people ask me, why are your podcast episodes so short? I say, because y'all attention spans are short.
Yes,
So
right.
I keep it short and I get to the point. I don't fluff. I talk about what I'm talking about and then I direct you where to go and then we're done. I just started it on my birthday. My birthday was February 6th. So that was the
Oh,
first episode.
congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're a newbie to the space like
Yes,
me.
I am. And I did write a book called Quiet is Kept. So I am going to pick back up on my book tour. The Quiet is Kept book is basically about my journey from childhood up until when I had the nervous breakdown. And I talk about everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the dirty, the clean. I don't hold back because I want to let people know that if I can overcome all this mess I went through, I know you can. It's just you holding you back. And I'm also doing a lot of speaking engagements. I have one Saturday and one Sunday.
If somebody wants to work with you, whether it was journaling, coaching, or finding you as a speaker, where's the best place for them to start to connect with you?
Everywhere. I'm
Perfect.
on Instagram. I'm at Shawnti Refuge Journals. I am on TikTok, Shawnti Journal Bae. I'm on YouTube at Shawnti Refuge Journals, or you can go to my website, ShawntiRefuge.com, and you can send me a message.
Awesome.
I am
Well,
here to help.
I am here to connect too, so I'll be sharing that with the listeners who will get your contact information out there. Before we get to the last question, I also had to share, before we kicked off the session, I had shared some synchronicities with you, but I also hadn't really got into my career for 21 years was in the credit union industry, and just so passionate about financial literacy and also that connection between mental health and financial well-being. And so to hear the work that you're doing in that space is so exciting for me to hear. I look forward to learning more about what you end up doing in that project, and hopefully get you back on the show at some point to share about that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Our final question on becoming is messy is right now, so many people feel like they're at their own rock bottom. So when you were at your messiest moment in your becoming journey, what was some advice that you wish would have found you then?
Ooh, where do I start? First, I would say to myself, you are not alone. Even though you feel like you're alone, you're not alone. You are powerful. You are strong. You are worthy. You belong. Those affirmations there, when I first heard them, I was like, oh my God, why I didn't hear this years ago when I thought I wasn't nothing and nobody wanted me and I wasn't deserving. I would tell my younger self that it's not a race. Slow down, little girl, slow down.
Oh, well, those were beautiful. I have 3 teenagers, and I feel like those are words
Bless
to be
your
able to
heart.
resonate back to them, right? Bless my heart, right? I was going to say those are words I'd like to share with them, but sometimes I need those reminders.
You need to hear it and they need to hear it.
Thank you for that. And thank you so much for spending time with me today. It was such a pleasure to get to know you.
Yes, I loved it. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you, Shawnti. Take care.
Talk soon.
Before we wrap today, I want to invite you to be part of the Becoming is Messy community. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And if there's anything that resonates with you, please leave a review. Your feedback means the world to me, and it helps other people find this community. Follow me on social media. I'd love to hear your ideas for future topics, your questions, and stories from your own messy moments. And if you're feeling inspired, check out the Becoming is Messy shop, where you can grab a mug, a t-shirt, or something else that reminds you to embrace your messy magic every single day. A huge thank you to the incredible Wolves and Sheep for providing the music for Becoming is Messy. Check them out on your favorite music streaming platform. As we close out today's episode, remember this: messy is just another word for growing. So keep showing up, keep laughing, and keep making beautifully awkward progress. Until next time, stay messy, my friends.